I had an interesting travel from Stockholm down here. Back in Stockholm, it's tropical heat and kind of warm in here as well. So I'm happy I'm experiencing that warmth they have back home. I would like to start with asking a question, and that is, if this works, if I can have the next slide. Here we are. Who among you enjoy jazz music? Raise your hands. Oh, quite a lot. And then you know, and probably many others, that part of jazz music is, there is a jamming session, part of jazz music, where the musicians together on stage, they improvise around a theme or a tone. And you don't know in the end of that music how it will be, because it's very much up to the musicians how they interact and how they collaborate and who is actually on stage. And that idea we took with us when we start thinking about how can we engage our employees within Electrolux around innovation, which is something important to us, and increase and get that collaboration working within our organization. And the crowdsourcing event, we have done 4 of them since 2012, and I will tell you a little bit more about the reason why and how we did it. The presentation will be available afterwards, so for those who find things that you may want to use, it will be downloadable from the ACD homepage. Anyhow, the background was the whole notion of getting employees, bringing their creativity to work. We have an R&D organization and product organization that is working with it all day long, but we wanted the whole organization to think about it and bring that creativity to work. And that is nothing new. We have done several attempts over the years in different ways to foster that thinking, to bring that creativity to the organization, but to help us develop new products that are preferred by the consumers in a way and at a faster pace than our competitors. To accomplish that, it needs an agile organization and an innovation-oriented organization from top to bottom. However, and Electrolux, equal with many other big organizations, we are challenged by silo thinking, sometimes challenges with cross-collaboration between the business areas and also various functions. We also didn't have any existential threats or the financial performance is solid and working well. So there was no real argument to challenge the long-lasting habits within the organization. Equally, when we asked our employees for ideas, there were no structured way to collect the ideas that came across. There were emails, there were meetings, we could have idea boxes, but there were no universal tool to take advantage of the ideas that all our employees had, and we didn't encourage the crowdsourcing in a structured way. There was also no way to collect the ideas and categorize them, so they were floating around and it was more pure luck than anything else when they were picked up. And also we were lacking the evaluating process about the idea. So which ideas are good and which ideas can we park for later? So we start asking ourselves, how can we utilize the knowledge and the experience that all our organizations have independently of where they belong in the organization? How can we engage them? How can we motivate them and inspire them? And we look for a way to channelize the brain power towards a defined and strategic challenge, send a clear message about where we should focus our attention and resources. And we also wanted to create a transparent way to track and report the progress of that innovation throughout the company. And that was something that we didn't have. We also wanted to put the innovation in the hands of our people and to use the social dynamics that you find in many other places, both inside and outside the company, but we didn't have that way to utilize those social dynamics. So, and finally, we were looking for a way to have the employees vote which ideas are the best ideas that we should bring forward. Okay, so what were we going to do? And this is the connection to the jamming session, because we found a way which has been proven by many other companies, namely the crowdsourcing event. And we invited all our employees to participate in an online event within a tool that we got from a vendor to collaborate and nurture ideas that were provided by the employees who participated. And the objectives has differed between the different crowdsourcing events that we have done. The recent one that we ended just a month ago, we were focusing on demonstrating the innovation leadership, reinforcing the importance of it, and also to make sure that all senior management really show their commitment to it in various ways, and I will talk a little bit more about it. But it was also about improving the innovation pipeline to get real ideas that we can, so to say, work with and see if there come up new products or consumables, accessories, services that we do not have today. And what you see on the right-hand side here is the green area is the work that is ongoing within our product organization, R&D organization already. We have a lot of defined products and areas where we are fine-tuning and developing these products on an ongoing basis. But there are also areas where we do not have products. Maybe we haven't thought about them, and these are the ideas that can create and unleash the growth potential there is to find new segments, new products that we can put into the market. We also wanted to drive activation, and this was an important objective. We wanted to identify the entrepreneurs within the organization. There are plenty of people who are not part of the R&D organization who have good ideas, strong ideas, but again, they didn't know how to channelize them. And we want to see which are these individuals so we can work together with them, but also, for instance, the HR organization help them to strengthen the organization and create career path for the individuals. And then finally the operationalize the innovation process to have a structured way of taking care of these ideas. Next slide, please. Okay, so the crowdsourcing event, you can say it's divided into 4 phases. The first one is really to think about what do you want to achieve. And the basis for it is not the tool as such, it's the game mechanics. And the game mechanics is really, the rules in the game mechanics is deciding the flow throughout the event. So one has to think through what are the objectives that you want to achieve. Is it a lot of ideas, or is it high quality ideas? Is it the collaboration you want to get a lot of? What are the things you want to accomplish? And when you have set the game mechanics, then you can develop the tool, the online tool, so it actually supports that process. We found a vendor that is specialized in this, and together we developed it. We developed the graphics and everything supporting the whole flow, including the actual tool. And I will show you a couple of slides on that later. Key here is, of course, that in our case, no one had ever participated in a crowdsourcing event before. So the communication process before the actual event was the key, part of the key to the success. Having people register, for instance, asking them to not only be informed, but actually participate throughout the crowdsourcing event. And I can talk a lot about the communications, but I will do it very briefly. We use basically all tools in the communication box to make people aware, motivate them, inspire them to participate throughout the online event during the 3 days when it took place. 3 days, I say, and that is really what it was. Electrolux is present in 150 markets, so it was 3 days and 3 nights, and online together with all the people that have pre-registered. The last one, we had about 6,500 people among our approximately 7,000 people that have an access to a computer in their daily work. And what we asked them was to provide their ideas in this tool to sign up and answer to questions. What will this idea support? What will be the benefits for the consumer? How will it actually work? And then all the participants, all the others, they made comments to the idea. They gave improvement ideas how to improve it. They shared their ideas with others. So there was a lot of similar functions to Facebook or any other tool where they could interact, and a lot of collaboration took place. The dialogue went on, the ideas improved over time. We also had trained innovation coaches that facilitated the conversation and asked the right questions, so the dialogue went on. And in the end of the day, all these interactions gained points. So a good idea with a lot of interaction, a lot of comments and sparkling in the system also gained a lot of points. And these points gave the innovation coaches the opportunity to actually identify the best ideas. So out of the 1,500 ideas that was posted all in all throughout this 3 days, they chose about 60 of the ideas, which they, together with subject matter experts, went through, and then they went back with the 20 ideas out of the 60 and posted it into the system again. And then the participants were invited to vote. And it was a pairwise voting, so one idea against another, and the system and the game mechanics then channelized down 10 ideas when a lot of voting has taken place. And the 10 best ideas, they were proposed to the Dragon's Den, as we call it. Idea stolen from TV. I don't know whether it was a good thing to steal, but I think people enjoyed it anyway, anyhow. And the Dragon's Den, then they went through the ideas. The ideas were presented by the idea owners in a video conference. So they had a video which they showed, and they were able to respond to a couple of questions from the dragons. And then the dragons, they looked through a couple of criteria. They gave points to the various criteria, how the ideas met the criteria. We got a total figure, and then we were able to, both in a qualitative and a quantitative way, find the final 3 winners. These 3 winning ideas are now put into our R&D organization, product organization, and will later on be real products sold in the market. And this is a screenshot how the tool looks like. Open Air was one idea. It was actually one of the winning ideas. You see here at the bottom how easily Fredrik Larsson, he described the idea. And later on there is a conversation. It's a lengthy conversation. People, they ask questions and share the idea, and they vote. There is ability to vote with a thumbs up and a thumbs down if you don't like the idea. The Dragon's Den, it was important not only to have the Dragon's Den as a grand finale, but also to make it look like the Dragon's Den, so people could really understand what it was about. But the dragons, it was the general management of the whole corporation. So it was the CEO, it was the head of the business areas, the functional heads. And in a breakout session from our ordinary meeting, we had this session where we met and listened to the presentations and discussed the ideas. And this is just to show you the scorecard. So we looked at the strategic fit, consumer relevance, commercial, technical, feasibility, the ability to own it towards our competitors, and of course, newness. Easily scored, total number, and then have a qualitative discussion. Out of the 10, we got 5 that were a little bit more standing out, and then it was a qualitative discussion, which 3 out of the 5 that we thought were the winning ones. And this is just to show you a bit of the results that we got in the crowdsourcing event that now ended. So some 1,500 ideas, a lot of comments, votes, views that were shared. I think really interesting here is what you find in the right-hand bottom side, 400 pages with text, ideas, comments that we have stored and can now be used later on by other experts within the organization. And throughout the event, there was some 100 people online all time. Okay, so what are the things that we believe made it successful? Really the opportunity for employees to collaborate, to be part of the process and not be steered from top down, but really a grassroots event which we again didn't know what the end would be. We know that was something that was really appreciated by the employees, and the energy and the amount of people that participated, I think, showcased it. It was also a great opportunity to show physically the commitment by senior management. It was not only words. We asked everyone to commit 1 hour out of their time into the crowdsourcing event. And when they did 1 hour, it was fun, so they actually spent more time. And several of the people in the senior management, they spent a lot more time just to show their commitment to it. You do it in a playful way is important, and also embed some competitiveness into it. Electrolux employees, they are competitors. We like to compete, and we have small competitions within the crowdsourcing event. Local ones, but also the big one, of course. We posted online on our intranet the pre-register results before the event started, and that made the sector heads start compete with each other. So I remember first event we did, the North American, they were scored very low in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they just went through the roof when the head of North America saw that he was a little bit behind. Be mindful about the challenge that you post to the employees. It has to be something that applies to all business areas, and in best case, something that people can also think about in their private life. We sell appliances to people, so of course they could think about it from their private point of view as well. Elements that fueled the creativity to do fun and different things. We had jazz bands playing in the headquarters to showcase the jamming, the idea behind the jamming. We had actors acting as chefs walking around in the Brazilian office, talking about the theme that the crowdsourcing event was, linked to food. In China, we handed out fortune cookies, which linked to the event. So in different ways, you can do different things to get the creativity going. And then have a grand finale. That is one of the things we saw useful. Okay. Summing up, Electrolux, we want to be a consumer-oriented innovation company with focus on growth. And that growth is driven by the 50 million products that consumers choose every year to buy from us instead of our competitors. These products are chosen, we believe, because of the brand and the design and also the innovation that they have. And to drive that growth, innovation is really key. And that key is unlocked by the employees. And this is really why we think the crowdsourcing event has facilitated that culture, that passion for innovation within Electrolux. That is what I had to say. If anyone want to connect with me afterwards, these are my contact details. I'm happy to ask any questions.
Very much, Martin van Arronet, for that. A lot of cross-divisional and cross-silo thinking happening in that particular project as well. It sounds like a lot of fun, but it seems to me Swedish companies have something of a reputation for a little bit more of a rock and roll approach. Do you suppose this kind of thing could be applied in any company?
I do think so.
Come over here in the light.
We have some 60,000 employees within Electrolux in 60 markets all over the world. 2,000 of them are Swedes. So it's definitely
so a very
something that
international
can
base
be
already.
So I think it's a matter of the approach and really have the commitment from the whole organization, especially from the top, because this drives a lot of work and energy. It's a one-year project, so one has to put a lot of emphasis into it. But if you're willing to do it, you can do it everywhere, I'm quite sure.
A lot of positive forward-thinking energy, obviously.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. If I could ask you to take a seat over there with Julia.